If you want to see me start from scratch in a brand new area where we are going to build a property portfolio and make massive, massive cash flow in property, then you need to follow us, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. So I've just rang up about 2 properties which we deemed potentially owned by one person, correct. And in addition to that, this guy has got, apparently he owns half of Tewkesbury, which I'm assuming is a substantial portfolio of probably about 100 plus properties. So he's going to connect me direct to the landlord today so that I can talk to him about acquiring his entire portfolio. Now let's just say that came off. You've got 100 properties, just making an assumption here. Let's even say it's 50, let's say it's 30. 30 properties where if we can acquire them at the right price, we can sell those properties on. And imagine if we made 5 grand on each one. Even if we said, look, 5 grand for each one, let's just reduce it so that we'd rather sell something rather than nothing. That's still more than the average annual income in one deal. From one phone call. You heard the conversation. What more do you need? Probably worth 155, maybe. How many beds? Flat, 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 flat. So it went on the market on the 1st of February 2022. So this has been on the market a year. As I look at this, no one would chain, investors only, tenants in situ. Right, so this is a great one because the reality is that this property, the tenants are probably making this a bit of a challenge for the owner to sell. Now, the first question is, what is it worth? So I'll do a quick check to see what the comparable properties are in the area to see what it's actually worth. That one sold in the same block for 120. And this one's on for 125. So it's only 5 grand more, but it's been on forever, right? So it's on for what it's worth. But the point is it's been on the market for over a year. So what I think, looking at it, there doesn't seem to be any major issues with it. It's not got a short lease. It needs some work doing to it. It's not got central heating. It's got a dated kitchen. Definitely a dated bathroom. Look at that beautiful bathroom. Love a pink bathroom. I reckon that's coming back into fashion. It's worth what it's on for if it was in an average condition, because I've looked at comparable properties and what they've sold for. It's not in an average condition. It probably needs maximum 20 grand spending on it, which means it's probably worth 110, 115. So I can use that as leverage, but it's been on the market since the 1st of Feb 22. So over a year, just over a year. So what we're going to do is we're going to call up and find out why. Because I don't think it's on for an unreasonable price. It does need some work, but that doesn't explain why it's been on so long. If I got this deal, I would be aiming to get it for 20% below market value, which means I could package it probably for about 8 grand based on where it is. The idea is that we buy it cheap. We also add value by refurbishing it and then refinance it for a higher price. The higher price is the 125, so we've got to get it down from 125. We've got 2 great points of leverage, refurb, and it's been on the market forever. So the next key point is to ring the agent and see what they've got to say. I think the reality is, have I made a phone call and done a deal that easily? Yes, I've done that on a number of occasions, probably 10 times a year I'll do that. But the reality is you're going to get a lot of no's. So you've got to get used to being rejected, basically. I tend to have a script. It depends on the circumstances. Now I don't really think about it, but when I first started, I did have a set of scripts that I worked with. 216.
For sales, press 2.
You're through to Charlie at Leaders. How can I help?
Hi Charlie, my name's Katie. How are you today?
Not too bad, Katie. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, hun. So I'm just calling about a property which you've got advertised on Rightmove.
Sure.
It's an apartment, a 1-bed apartment on St Peter's Close in Cheltenham.
All right, let me see if I can find that one for you. Do you have the price of that one there at all?
It's on for 125. My first question really is, you know, it went on the 1st of Feb 22, so okay, it needs some money spending on it. It needs an upgrade from a bathroom and kitchen point of view, but do you know why that is? Why it's been on so long?
Let me have a little look and see what I can find out for you. Bear with me.
Okay.
Okay, so from what I can see, there was a buyer that sale then fell through. Let me see if I can find out why.
Okay, just wondering if there's anything wrong with it.
Sure, no, of course. I'm afraid afraid I haven't actually got the details as to what happened. I know from what I could see, the buyer withdrew that offer, but I haven't got any details as to why, unfortunately.
Okay.
I'm based in the head office myself, so that's why I'm not too sure.
No, that's fine. I understand. So, I mean, if you don't know, I've just got some thoughts on it, and I just wanted to run those by you, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
So I've had a look at it. It's a great apartment, but it does need some money spending on it. So it needs a new kitchen, it needs a new bathroom. I can see it doesn't have central heating. So the fundamental sort of most expensive things to do on a refurb for it are we need to do that. Now, I think it's on for what it's worth, but it needs that amount of money spending on it. And we're probably looking at another 20 odd grand, maybe a bit more, to do it up to a more modern standard. So basically looking at it, if I'm being honest, and I'm just saying this, so this is why I've rang, I'm more at the 100 grand mark, maybe just a little bit over. And I'm just wondering if based on that, it's worth me arranging a viewing. Because I don't want to waste anybody's time, you see.
Sure. I mean, the offer that was accepted originally and obviously went through, obviously ended up withdrawing, unfortunately, but that was below the asking price. I can't give out exactly what it was, unfortunately, but it was sort of quite substantially lower. It was above the 100 mark, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was quite a drop from the asking price. So I would imagine they sort of had the same thoughts as you, which is why they would have offered the lower price. I believe it is currently tenanted at the moment.
Which is not a problem.
I mean, what I could always do if you'd like, because I would need to, you need to confirm viewing with the local branch anyway, is I could pop a message over to them, get them to give you a ring, and then maybe discussing with them first before booking a viewing maybe might be the best way to go.
But that's fine. If they can call me back, that would be great. We'll have a chat about it.
Take care.
Cheers
Bye,
then.
bye.
Bye. So that is a fantastic lead. So basically we've got this property that's been on the market for over a year. It needs money spending on it. Now, she didn't give me the price that the other person offered because it's had a sale that's fallen through, but it was substantially less than what they're asking. Now, if I've just basically pre-qualified to say, look, I'm at the 100 grand mark, is it worth me arranging a viewing based on that? She's basically said yes. So I believe that the offer that got accepted and then fell through was probably about 105, 110. So that's where I'm gauging that offer was, and they're never really going to tell me what that offer is, especially when they don't know me. So I'm hoping that they call me back. I'm going to float the number of 100,000. It's on for 125. I'm going to float the number of 100,000 past the agent and say, is it worth me arranging a viewing based on me only offering 100 grand? Because if they say yes and then I offer 100, they know exactly where I'm at. If I basically went in and it's up for 125 and then just offer 100, they're probably going to say no. So they know that I know what I'm doing, and it's quite likely that this is going to come off, because in reality this is also a tenanted property, which means that even though I would ideally buy it to refinance it, to refurbish it to refinance it, I'm not going to be able to refurbish it with a tenant in. But it's a done deal. If I can get it cheap and it's worth more, then when the tenant eventually leaves, then I can refurbish it and refinance it. So there's so many different options that we can do. There's a couple of problems with this property. It needs money spending on it and it's got a tenant in. That's going to put a lot of investors off, and definitely first-time buyers, because they're not going to be able to live there. This is a great lead. So far, I've looked at the first 3 properties. 2 of them are owned by one owner, who apparently owns half of Tewkesbury. We're meeting with the valuer tomorrow morning and also being connected with the owner of that portfolio. And the second one that we've looked at is an apartment that's been on the market for 13 months with a tenant in situ, with massive opportunity to add value, but you can't add value because there's a tenant in situ. Can you see the problem? So I've floated an idea at 20% below market value past the agent. They've not said no. I've got someone calling me back. So that's 2 calls, 2 very hot leads. I see so many people making these mistakes when they are offering below market value. So what they do is they probably don't have a relationship with the agent. Even if they have a relationship with the agent, they just come out with the number. They don't explain why or come up with a justification as to why they got to that number. The reality is, if you educate the agents as to why you've come to that really low number, then they are going to be happy working with you because they already know. They know that that property needs 35, 40, 50 grand spending on it. They know that with a short lease or whatever the problem is with the property, they know what the problem is, but they're looking for you to know your stuff because they are there to protect the vendor. So it's not always about getting them to tell you everything, but it's about making sure they know what's going on in your head. So the mistake I see so many people make is they're walking to an agent and they're just looking for deals. If you go into an agent and say, I'm looking for deals, they're going to just switch off from you. So you need to be able to add value to the agent's life and to be able to create win-win situations. So we've now started this challenge in a brand new area where nobody knows my name, where we are going to be finding incredible property deals. I've got 2 viewings lined up for tomorrow morning, and I'm going to be sharing with you exactly what happens on those viewings. And that's exactly why you cannot miss a video. So you need to make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I've been Katie Wilson, and I'll see you in the next video.